Hello, I'm Kylie Olsen and welcome to Download TV. Now look who's here with me. It is the one and only Myles Kennedy. Hello.
Hi, it's great to be here.
Yeah, it's good to have you here. And I feel like you're well qualified to talk about the crowds at Download because I worked out that you have played at 10 out of the 17 years the festival's
Wow.
been going.
No kidding. I was just trying to figure it. I was thinking about that actually this morning. I was trying to figure out how many, and wow, that's a lot. That's wonderful. I wish I could play more. I'll take that. Let's get in a time machine and do all of them.
Well, you need to get another band going or something.
That's a good idea.
Time. But,
My heavy metal polka band. It's coming next.
we can't wait. So yeah, I mean, obviously you must have some stories from Download after being at 10 of them.
I remember the first time I played there with Slash, and it was before it was the Conspirators. It was, I want to say this would have been around 2010, and it was our first European tour, and I remember we got there, and it was, it's Download. So it was raining cats and dogs and the weather was pretty grim. And I was like, oh man, how's this going to play it? And we'd also done a fair amount of shows and my voice is pretty tired. Now, those of you who know me know I'm such a worrywart when it comes to how my voice is going to hold up for the show, just typical singer, very singer.
You don't normally do interviews, do you, on show days? I know.
No, I don't. I don't. And I always feel horrible about that. I feel like that kind of sends the wrong message. Like, I don't want people thinking I'm standoffish, but I always think, well, you got to think about the people who come to the show and they expect a certain thing out of you. And the way that whatever it is, it's just like, I have to basically just not talk much during the day and then be able to do the show. So I remember being hidden away in our little rental bus that we had, trying to see if if everything was going to work here. And, it was coming together. It was going to be all right. But then I was concerned about the weather. And I'd gone out earlier in the day to watch someone, and there weren't that many people out there it was early in the day, and I'll never forget getting ready to go on stage when all was said and done. And it was like suddenly the clouds opened up and the sun was there, and there were people as far as the eye could see, just all the way to the back. And it ended up being a really special, awesome day. So that's one that I cherish. That's one of the memories I definitely cherish.
That's nice. That's a nice memory for sure. And I know you've talked about the fact that you struggle to kind of stop and slow down, and that when you've been on a long tour, you say to yourself, you get off it and you go, right, okay, now it's time to just chill out. And it usually lasts you about 24 hours, and then you're back doing something again.
Right.
Have you found that a pandemic has helped cure that for you?
No, well, it's definitely cured the idea of getting home and just washing my clothes, putting them all back in a suitcase and going back out on another tour. But I still, I guess it's just kind of, I'm kind of hardwired to be kind of, I like to work, I like to stay busy, and I don't really call what I do work. I'm a musician. I get to make music and write songs. So yeah, when this all started, probably about 2 weeks before it was official that we were locking down, because I think my wife and I both saw the writing on the wall. We were like, just given the way things are going in other parts of the world. And we had friends in Italy who were kind of forewarning us about how bad things were. And I was like, I have the feeling that we could be home for a while. So I went ahead and I just started working on a record, which is, actually I've got about 2 records now that I'm trying to figure out which one's going to be. Next solo record is pretty much done. So I'm excited, but I've been able to get something done during this time, and also hang out with my family, which has been wonderful.
That's nice. So so this is going to be a solo album then that you're working on?
Correct. Yeah.
And how does it differ to Year of the Tiger?
Well, it's definitely a little more plugged in. It's as far as the overall approach. That was a Year of the Tiger leans heavily on the acoustic side of things.
Yeah.
And it definitely has a blues vibe. This continues that in the sense that this is my opportunity to venture more into the more bluesy realm, especially as a guitar player. But with that said, it's a little louder.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's more plugged in. I'm not, it rocks a little harder. And there's going to be a lot of guitar silliness on it. So I'm excited about that.
So have you literally just been writing? You haven't laid anything down or anything like that?
I have actually basically started pre-production. I've demoed pretty much the entire record. So I sit here in my little studio and program all the drums, play bass, lap steel. You basically make the record, and then you present it to everyone. You go, okay, this is kind of what I'm thinking here. Let's make this happen for real. So I'm supposed to record that here in the next couple of months. I'll leave home and get that knocked out.
And who's going to be working on it with you? Same team?
Same team. We had so much fun last time. We were like, well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So I'm looking forward to getting back in with the gang. And yeah, that was Year of the Tiger was one of the funnest, even though it's a really dark record from a lyrical standpoint. We had so much fun making it, just, hanging out with Elvis and Jeff and the gang and then, Zia and Tim. And yeah, we're a bunch of idiots, and we have fun.
Well, Elvis is with you every step of the way, isn't he? Because he's worked on everything with you, whether it be, Alter Bridge or the Slash stuff or your solos. So
correct.
He's your George Martin.
He is absolutely the George Martin, absolutely, and I wouldn't have it any other way. He's great.
So lyrically, then, like you say, the debut was a bit darker, and it was a concept album in that sense, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. Where does this one go?
That's a great question, because it had the potential to be another concept record, which I did not want to do. Obviously these are crazy times, so it's virtually impossible not to be informed by that as a writer. It's going to make its way into the context of the lyrics. So there are elements of looking at what's happening, asking questions, kind of your way of dealing with it. I mean, that's what I love about being a songwriter, is it really helps you work through things and deal with things and make sense of things. But there are also songs where I wanted to make sure that it wasn't strictly about that. Because what that does is that can date something. It's like, if the record were to come out in whenever, a year's time, and maybe people have moved on past all of this, then it's like, I don't know how relevant it would be. How relevant it would be. So you have to be careful there to make sure that you, don't make it so literal, and make it, have a bit of ambiguity to it, so that it can, touch on different circumstances, but still conveying the emotion that you're feeling as you're going through it. And that's the big challenge for me.
I mean, you've put yourself in this incredible position, haven't you, really? Because you get to open up all these little doors. You get to do your Slash thing, you get to do the Alter Bridge stuff, and you get to do your solo stuff as well. Does it ever get to the point where you're like, oh my God, I don't have anything left?
It's always my biggest fear, is that the well will run dry. I've been in that situation before. It's been a while. I remember about 20 years ago, interestingly enough, after I met my wife, and I for a period there, I couldn't come. I was so content, and I was just on cloud nine, that it sounded like everything I was writing was like something could be in a Disney movie. So I was like, the rock fans. Yeah, I mean, no one's going to want to hear this. So that was kind of an interesting point. So that's why I definitely try and take advantage of times like these, in the sense that when you're really feeling something and you're really passionate about something, just dig in and express as much as you can. Because if that well dries up as a writer, oh God, I'm telling you, there are very few things that freak me out as much as that feeling. Because then you're like, have I lost it? I mean, I've got nothing left to say? I mean, and I love this so much. I don't know what I would do without it. So I always try to keep that well, fertile.
Full. Yeah.
Full. That's better.
And what's happening with Alter Bridge and Slash? Anything on the horizons with those guys?
Yeah, with Alter Bridge, we're just, we were supposed to be on the road right now. We were supposed to be in your neck of the woods. So it's been a real, it's real. I'm not gonna lie, it's been really difficult because we were all very excited about the record and getting the tour, and so obviously that's not happening. So yeah, we're just kind of trying to reassess at this point and see what we do from this point forward with this record cycle. So we're waiting to see what the virus is going to allow us to do, I guess.
So you first played Download in 2005. What were your first impressions of walking onto the hallowed soil of Donington?
That was heavy. That was a massive deal for me. As far as festivals go, to me, it's subjective, but that's like the Super Bowl. So I remember, warming up. I was in the bus warming up, and I talk about nerves. I mean, I was just all wound up about that one. And there were, I believe that day, Black Sabbath was headlining, which was kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was a pretty incredible experience, especially to walk out on the stage for the first time. And I think that might have been the most people that I had ever had the opportunity to perform in front of, with Mark, Scott, and Brian there. To them, it was probably just old hat at that point. But for me, walking out there and seeing that was definitely something that I will never forget. And it turned out to be wonderful. It turned out to be just a really great experience. And little did I know that 16 years later, I would have had the opportunity to play 10 more of them, or wait, 9 more of them. My math, that's correct. But yeah, so that was a nice way to get it all started for sure.
Amazing. Well, look, Myles, it's been great chatting to you, and we can't wait to see you back on the road again. See you then.
Right on.